According to the results of the survey we had a week ago, we decided to make a very educative and informative video for our dear subscribers, so here we go. IELTS listening and my top 5 tips of how I got 8.5 from listening. And for those who watch this video till the end, I want to tell you about 3 new changes in IELTS listening in 2020. So let's go. My first tip is for those who have at least a month or more until their test date, because it's about making a routine of active listening. So tip number 1, active listening. So what does an active listening mean? It means that you're listening and you're focusing on what's being said, and you have a pen and paper and you're noting the thing that you're hearing. This is not the same when you're sitting on the bus with your earphones. That's not really active listening. Sit, pen and paper on your hand, listen. Make notes of what you hear. New vocabulary, new phrases. Phrases you don't understand, look up from the dictionary. Look them up online. And this is not only to hone your listening skills, but it will also improve your speaking. It will also help you improve your writing. And it will improve all aspects of your English language. Tip number 2, concentrate. IELTS listening is a hard test, not because it's difficult to understand, but because you need to listen, read and write almost at the same time. It's a test of your concentration and ability to manage your time, your seconds in a very, very precise way. Many people claim to have a perfect results from listening on their daily practice tests. However, when it comes to their real test results, they fail it because in a real exam, when panic, anxiety and hesitation covers your mind, it's highly likely that you will lose your concentration. So how do you focus during the tests? Well, sit up straight, take some deep breaths up to your brain, trying to get that oxygen where it's needed. But before the test, building up your stamina when it comes to concentration is also a really important thing to work on. Because we live in a world full of distractions, your phone, your computer, your friends, everywhere you go, your mind is distracted. We're losing that art of complete concentration and focus. Tip number 3, read ahead. During the test, you get lots of little breaks. So often the audio will say, now you have 30 seconds to check your answers, or now you look at questions 5 to 10, for example. Whenever you have a break, don't go back and check your answers. They're finished, it's over. Look ahead. So always try to read ahead, because the more you can read, the better prepared you'll be. Tip number 4, highlight. If you're doing the paper delivered test, you'll have a pen or pencil and you should use that to underline or circle the questions as you read them. Try to keep those keywords in your mind. Writing down on your paper and highlighting also just help you keep your brain active so that you're not just sitting there and staring at the question number 1, for example. So tip number 4, highlight. Tip number 5, practice. After getting all 4 tips that I mentioned before, the only thing left is practice, but correct practice. Completing one practice test doesn't really mean that it's over. After finishing one test, try to analyze your answers, try to find common phrases and learn new vocabulary from your finished test. Listen the places of your recording where you made mistakes one more time and understand why you made those mistakes. Remember that it's unlikely that you can get a high result in a day or in a week, so be patient. The results gonna come gradually and it only depends on your hard work, because the more you work, the more you get, and practice makes perfect. Don't forget that. So now it's time to talk about new changes in IELTS listening in 2020. These changes came into effect at the start of January this year, and there have been 3 new changes. The first one is about the name of the sections. What was previously called sections are now called parts. The other change is that there will be no reference to page numbers. So the audio will never say on page 3 and the text won't say refer to questions on page 4, for example. And the final change is that there will be no example question. I should clarify here that you'll still see an example, but you'll not hear the audio twice as you used to. So on your test paper, you'll still see an example question, an example answer,
but the audio will only be played once.
This is a very small change, but it's very important because some of you may have used that time to be reading ahead. So now just be aware that there is a little bit less time for that pre-reading. Thanks everyone for watching this video, and I hope I helped you at least a little bit with your IELTS preparation. If you want to see the same video about IELTS reading, don't forget to write about it on the comments below, and please don't forget to share this video with your friend who is preparing for IELTS examination these days. Goodbye everyone, see you soon.